we have an interview coming up, very special indeed, as a part of a joint collaborative, that seems a joint initiative. WMSC will be working with the PSENG Institute for Sustainability Studies. And we are launching a new show that discusses all things Earth Day and the Earth and sustainability. I'm very excited because this is the first science show we have at the station. And joining us today is Dr. Amy Tuininga, the director of said institute. Welcome.
Hi, thanks so much for having me here today.
Thank you for joining us.
It's great to have you. So let's just get right into it. This show, I don't remember if Josh said it or not, is called the Refresh. So what inspired having this show?
That's right. Well, I feel like we're at a turning point as far as all of the efforts that have gone into addressing all of the challenges that we've faced um, in the world with climate change, with the environmental kinds of initiatives that people have been putting so much effort into. And now, governments are joining in and large companies are joining in and small communities are joining in. And I think we're at a point where we can really make the difference, and it's urgent now. And so, Earth Day is a really good time to kind of take stock of where we are, where we've been, how we've gotten where we are, and what needs to be done. And it's urgent now because we have very limited time left to make that change in a way that's going to really kind of stem the flow of all these extreme weather events and things like that. So the refresh is taking a look back at some of the things that we've done with our Green Teams projects. And I can talk more about those, but bringing those students and those graduates on to say what they did a few years ago and where they are now and how they're addressing some of these issues in their jobs and in their graduate programs.
Yeah, it's great. And like Josh said, this is the station's first official science show. We sometimes talk about scientific breakthroughs and have had guests talk about science, but we've never had a dedicated show about science. And this one specifically, it's going to have interviews and features about the Green Teams internship program. It was initiated a transdisciplinary internship program targeted to upper level undergraduates, and exceptional rising sophomores may also be considered. And these were all just to address sustainability, and important on addressing sustainability. This past week, days in April, PSEG has been hosting webinars about sustainability in celebration of Earth Month. Can you tell us about the webinars?
Yeah, they've been great. We really, last year when the pandemic hit, we pivoted everything virtual, and we had a whole month of SIP talks to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. And this year we decided to focus a lot on a local community, Montclair, the township of Montclair. So we've had the mayor and some of the council members join us, and we've covered topics so far of sustainable transportation and sustainable food systems and sustainable living. And tonight we'll be doing sustainable business. And so it's really, taking a look locally at what's happening and what still needs to be done and how we can come together. We're working with Montclair Climate Action on these initiatives, and then maybe using that as a model for other communities or drawing information from other communities that we've worked in through the years, and trying to take a look at what people can do in their own small business, in their own home, with their local government to address climate change and sustainability.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point of starting local. And because I've heard in a lot of circumstances that this does start, small scale, and if the more people you get on the ground floor, the more it's going to spread up. Would you be able to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, it does. So we've worked in a lot of communities. We've worked in the city of Newark. We've worked in the city of Jersey City, Fair Lawn, Ridgewood, Glen Rock. We've worked out at the on the shore, Jersey Shore, Ocean Gate, Homedale, Point Pleasant Beach. And each of those communities, we've taken a look at local food waste and how to recycle it or compost it. We've looked at energy efficiency and how to make energy more efficient in your home or in your business. We've helped kind of the cities in Newark and Jersey City inventory their street trees and look at how carbon's sequestered and how those street trees are important in mitigating floods and helping to make the air clean in local neighborhoods. And by inventorying emissions, the pollution coming out of tailpipes of city vehicles, we've been able to help cities like set targets for what they want to see. But some of this is very personal. It's what are you doing in your home? Are you limiting the amount of food that you're buying so you're not contributing a lot to food waste? Are you installing LED light bulbs so that you can reduce your energy use on lighting by 77% by just switching out light bulbs. And the state has really great incentives programs so they can give you free light bulbs. So there's all kinds of things that you can do locally in your home. And then that kind of helps bring an awareness to when you're in a company, when you're working, wherever you work, and how you can kind of implement those kinds of strategies and that mindset in those companies. And so it kind of goes back and forth. We work with lots of big, Fortune 500 companies and New Jersey-based companies and help them with the same kinds of things, but on a bigger scale, like you said.
Yeah, yeah. And there's, just quickly, is there anything that you do personally to keep your own corner of the world sustainable?
Well, lately I haven't been commuting much, but we really do work on, being conservative. So I don't buy something if I don't really need it. I don't. If I am purchasing something and I have something that I'm trading it out for, I try to find a home for that. Somebody else that needs it, or you're donating to Goodwill or to someplace else. And so, kind of keeping the consumerism at bay. And then, the food waste is a really big one. So we really don't, we use leftovers. We don't really throw food waste out. And then there's composting too. So yeah, lots of things like that. You can also keep your thermostat low, in the winter, if you just knock it down a couple degrees, and in the summer, if you mimic the natural temperatures a little bit closer, you save a lot on energy use in your home and also in your businesses.
Speaking of homes and businesses, it has been a terrible year in terms of COVID and the world health. But what that has brought us, the lack of travel, it's certainly helped our environment to some extent. Is there a measure on how the past year has improved, the kind of circumstances, whether we can measure that reduced emissions of carbon or something along those lines?
Yeah, so the estimates are like 7 to 10% reduction in emissions. And we've seen places like China and LA where, the atmosphere has cleared up tremendously, or Venice where the waterways have cleared up tremendously. But the best guess is that that's going to bounce back really quickly. However, we're right on the precipice of really shifting to a lot of renewable energy and also a lot of electric vehicles and possibly some hydrogen fuel vehicles as well. So that's going to make a change as well. So I think the pandemic shows us what's possible, but I don't trust that we're going to keep everything like that. I mean, I think people will continue working from home some of the time. I know a lot of companies are postponing going back to work until the fall. So I think we have this little window to really be strategic and think about what we want to happen.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I'd like to circle back to the green teams. And I think it's important not to just like name them, but identify what they do. So can you tell me about, more than just the name?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, this is my passion project, so this is something I could talk about all day, but I'll keep it somewhat brief. The green teams are teams of 5 students, and they come from different disciplines and different universities. We've had students from all over the country and out of the country participate, and we partner them with corporations, nonprofits, municipalities, who all apply to have a green team, and together they achieve deliver some of these sustainability strategies. So, they've worked on things like emissions, they've worked on waste, they've worked on food security in some of the environmental justice communities, like in the city of Newark, bringing technology into community gardens that were old vacant lots and now have been turned into these green oases, and now helping to build technology so that we know when the food is produced, how do we get it to the places where people need it? So mapping out where the bodegas are and where the people in need are so we can get that produce to them. Some of it involves some pretty technical strategies for large corporations to meet the Paris Accord agreement for a 2 degrees Celsius cap on global warming, exactly step by step what that means for a company and what you need to do in order to meet that agreement. Because a lot of companies signed the We're Still In that was put out by Ceres in order to continue to fulfill those needs even after the US pulled out of the Paris Agreement. And so a lot of companies are moving forward, and we're helping them to achieve that, because many of them have, sustainability is a new field, and it's a really cool way to access science, like you said, but sustainability is transdisciplinary. So there are business people involved, and there are people from the social sciences and the humanities involved, and we need everybody to address these sustainability issues, and we have them on the green teams, and so they work together. I could give you a couple really cool examples. We did a project for New Jersey Natural Gas where we were trying to help them communicate with their customers about energy tips for energy reduction. And our students built out an Alexa platform. So you could say, hey, Alexa, give me an energy tip. And we had sustainability science student and computer and electrical engineering students and a writing arts major and a psychology major all working together. And by the end of the 10-week program, that Alexa tool was live, and we were working with New Jersey Natural Gas to, it was already up and running, but to keep it going after that. So, sometimes it's a local community garden, sometimes it's a multinational corporation. We worked with Honeywell to help build out a dashboard for waste so they could track waste in all of their facilities. And we worked with Bristol Myers Squibb to connect their facilities worldwide to share their sustainability tips with each other through an intranet platform. So it's a variety of different kinds of things that we do and different kinds of organizations. And this summer is exciting because we have 6 new organizations, 6 repeating organizations, 12 new teams, 60 new students coming for June 1st, and we'll be doing the launch on June 3rd. So you can tune into that as well. And maybe we'll put that on the refresh a little bit as well. So yeah, these teams, the students go on to incredible subsequent internships and jobs and graduate school in PhDs, and also professional school, law school. So some of them are graduated from law school now, and they're in amazing careers. And you'll hear about that on the refresh. So you'll hear what they're doing. You'll hear about embodied carbon in construction, and the food and health initiatives through Build a Healthier Newark, and what's going on with TerraCycle. So you'll hear about all of these kinds of things that people have gone on from the green teams to address in their own careers and career paths.
Amazing. Now, if I could ask just real quick, do you know who came up with the name The Refresh? Was it a group effort? Was it collaborative?
It was definitely a group effort.
Okay.
We have, you'll hear Brittany Portes. She's going to be the host and moderator for the refresh. And we have a media manager, Emma Lavin, who's also helping us out, and our program coordinator, Tirza Mills. And so we're all working together on this. But, the great thing about the green teams is that everyone wants good for the planet, good for their communities. And they're really willing to come back and help out. And so we've had so many green team members come back and help us continue a lot of these efforts going forward. So almost all of our staff are people who have been through the green teams program.
That's great.
If people want to find out more about the green teams or the Institute for Sustainability, where can they go?
Yeah, if they're interested in finding out more, you can go to our website, www.montclair.edu/ISS.
Ooh, International Space Station? What?
Institute for Sustainability Studies.
Institute for Sustainability Studies. Just so happens
We do have some
to
grants with
be
NASA.
the ISS.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That may be the next place that we focus our sustainability efforts, because I think there's a lot of junk out in space, right? So we might be
Yeah,
going there
gotta
next
clean up
for
our belt.
sustainability.
I've seen Wally. I know how this ends up.
We're hoping to avoid that by our efforts.
Oh, amazing. I'm very excited for Science Show.
So am I. I can't wait for this to launch. And, this is just a really high level view that you'll hear today, but we'll get into like the nitty gritty details in the subsequent weeks. And so it'll be great to dig in with all of the Green Team's members, and some of the company representatives going to be doing some cameos on the show as well. And so you'll hear from corporations too.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's a lot that's here to come at WMSC, and especially with science and sustainability. Thank you, Dr. Tuininga, for taking time off from what I'm sure is a very hectic day for you. And the refresh, if you're interested in listening to it, anybody, it airs today at 3 p.m. right here on WMSC.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you for coming and talking about it.
And we are back here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. This is the Morning Buzz Thursdays edition. I am Josh, aka Josh.
I'm Kenny Horn, the man of 1,001 nicknames.
And I am Top 5 Isaiah.
Welcome everyone. If you just tuned in, we're just speaking to Dr. Amy Tuininga from the PSENG Institute of Sustainability Studies about a collaborative effort airing at 3 p.m. today. The refresh on WMSC, very exciting.
That's right. But we've got one more story before we wrap up here today, and I've got to mention it. I've got to mention it. So we talked a lot about today, UK. Not too much American news today. So we're going to talk about Canada, another land that's cold. I like it cold, if you were here from the beginning of the show.
Canada.
So
The Raptors.
firefighters in Canada, they came to the rescue of a dog who knocked their owner's vehicle into neutral and was taking an accidental joyride.
Oh man.
So what was happening is there was a dog moving out of a slow-moving vehicle down the road while its owner wasn't there, and someone just saw it, and firefighters were called. There's not much information besides that, but I find this very story just hilarious.
Dog on the run.
Dog on the run. Yeah. I just don't understand it.
It's very cartoon-esque.
Very.
Like I feel like, didn't they do this in the Garfield movie? Am I mistaken?
That's exactly what I think. But I've got a question for you all, because this is the first thing I thought when I heard this. This story. How do you think they got the dog out?
I'm expecting. Have you guys seen that movie with the train that's just like a runaway, and the whole movie's them trying to stop the train? Like it's very interesting. We talked about it in class once, in our audio class, because this I'm getting a little off topic. The reason we talked about it is because they gave the train actual like animal noises, like they blended it in to make it seem more lifelike and make it the actual villain. Like they gave it an actual vocalization instead of just like choo choo. Like they put some tiger growl underneath it and they mixed it together. So it was like brr. But where was I going this? Oh yeah, I imagine that's how they stopped the car. They got 3 fire trucks driving around side it. They get like some sort of hose lasso and they get the car and they're like, "Oh, slow down, doggy." I don't know why they're talking like Southerners, even though it's Canada. I'm like, "Oh boy, this car here, eh? It's pretty hard to stop. Oh, whoa there, doggy." Something like that.
Sorry, doggy, sorry.
"Oh, slow down, doggy. Turn it back into park, eh?" Something like that. They did that, and then they stopped it before any damages were caused. Or maybe they got like a moose, and they just boom, and they hit it. You know, moose are big.
Meese. No, it's not meese.
It's not meese.
Isaiah, do you have any ideas?
My idea is like what I was hoping it would be super like they're down a highway right now, helicopters around, and they have him surrounded. And then at one point they're like, get out of the car. And then like he gets out of the car, but he's standing like a human. And he's like, my bad, guys. I didn't mean it to get this wild. I'm just gonna go home if that's all right.
Turns out it was the owner of a dog suit the whole time.
Wait, what?
No, my idea. They had 2 giant rubber bands, okay? All right. And the fire truck was going cruise control, like 5 miles per hour behind it. Same speed. And they just lassoed. But these rubber bands, they're not just rubber bands. They're like, you can attach them kind of like seat belts in a way. So like you throw it and you can attach it with a remote, okay? And it makes it become a loop. And then they do that to 2 parts of it, which makes it slow down as they pull it back a little bit, but they can't pull it back too far because then they'll hit it. That they got to be careful of that. So they'll slow it down and then the dog is free to go. That is exactly what happened. That is not exactly what happened for news sake. I can't say that, but that's what happened in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Waiting for the documentary to come out about this, where they have him sit down, interview with the dog.
Interview with the dog. I was running for my life.
Summer
The dog
blockbuster
just comes out. We got a message from our general manager. I don't know if she was talking about me, but she said in the chat, "You sound Irish," in the cap between Kenny and I. And I know she wasn't talking about my Canadian accent because that was on point. If I was to talk Irish,
I think it was probably me. It was probably me. I'm not the best with accents.
No, it could have been me because
my voice
is
top 5 accents.
Top 5 accents. I mean, they're all
top 5 accents.
So it's guaranteed.
Well, speaking of that, we're in the top 5 minutes of the show, meaning the last 5. Oh boy.
All right. So, I mean, we've got
you know what we have to do real quick. We have to circle it back to Pokemon.
Exactly. I was getting there.
I saw on Twitter the other day a poll about what your favorite Pokeball is. Ooh. Out of all the ones you can use to catch.
Oh, that's great.
Okay. And I think that is very interesting. Now, I'll go first. I have to say, I like to keep it classy. Nothing can beat a good Premier Ball.
Ooh.
You buy 10 Pokeballs, you get that special one, nice and white with the red lining. Ooh, it's so clean.
Does it have any like added effects that make it?
No. You get it for free. It's just a Pokeball, but
yeah, that's what I thought.
Special looking.
Okay. Ooh, I love this question. I was gonna ask like a different question. I had something prepared, but no, this blows that out of the water. That's good.
I'm putting it in our WMSC Discord so you guys can see all of them.
I think for me, it's probably the Dusk Ball. The nice little green, little black going on in there. It's super unique, and it's not the most useful, I think, though. But it looks nice.
I used to use Dusk Balls pretty often back in Diamond Pearl days.
Yeah,
the caves.
They're good. Very to catch your legendaries in those dark caves.
Yeah, exactly. I like to keep it classic. I like the Pokeball.
Oh.
You see, I don't actually hate that. Usually I hate the basic thing, but I think the design for the Pokeball is very nice. If you look at some of the other ones they have, there's a lot of less desirable ones. The Dust Ball is cool, Quick Ball, Net Ball,
the Dive Ball,
the Beast Ball.
What is the Beast Ball?
That's something new where I don't understand.
That is
I don't even know that one.
Look, if you look in the Discord on the random things, it's the last ball in the little post. It's very cool. It looks like an ultra wormhole used to catch what are they called?
Ultra Beasts.
Ultra Beasts, yeah.
What game is that from?
Sun and Moon.
Just Sun and Moon? I guess I didn't finish it or something.
SMH. Shaking my head.
God.
The opposite of top 5.
But do you guys have that thing with Pokeballs? And this is why I like the Pokeball specifically. Like, you know how you put it like in the healer at the Poke Center?
Mm-hmm. Dun,
and
dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, and all the balls go into the healer, and you
boop, boop, boop. Yep.
And they gotta be, for me, if they're not all the same type, it drives me crazy.
Really?
It drives me insane, which is why I like the Pokeball, because your starter automatically becomes in a Pokeball.
Mm,
I guess I feel like I grew out of that. I used to be like that, but then I'm like, I like seeing how unique they are and which ball I caught them in.
yeah, I'm
That's
very
fair.
much about diversity. I love seeing different kinds of Pokeballs in my life.
Now, what's your least favorite Pokeball?
Great ball.
A Great Ball?
Easily. Looks
Really?
terrible.
That's fair.
I would say, probably for me, maybe the Timer Ball,
I was gonna say that too.
because one, you gotta wait a long time to use it,
Yeah.
and then two, it doesn't look the best. The only case that I like it for is if you catch a Dialga in it, because he's the Pokemon of
Oh
time.
yeah.
So
Mm,
you got to use the Time Ball for him.
That makes sense.
It's just only natural.
That
That's
makes
his. It's actually his home. If you don't catch him in the Time Ball, he feels left out. But
true.
that just about wraps up our show here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. You have been listening to the Morning Buzz with Josh, aka Josh.
Kenny Horn, the man of 1,001 nicknames.
And the only top 5 Isaiah.
Thank you all for tuning in this past hour. The Morning Buzz airs every weekday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We will be back tomorrow. Not we, the proverbial we, meaning the people of the buzz, will be back tomorrow for your Friday show. But the we that are in the studio, that are in the Zoom right now, will be back next week to give you more Thursday news. Woo! Woo! Thank you all for listening, and bye-bye.